What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today it's a little bit breezy and very extremely sunny, so we're doing the intro in the shade. But today we were reviewing the Doomsday disc Solar Death Ray. This disc is an anomaly. I've never felt another disc that is quite like this one. It's an 8.5 -11 from the manufacturer's flight numbers. We'll see how that works. But it's very sunny, so we're throwing the death ray. So the Solar Death Ray is unique in a couple different ways. The manufacturers call it an 8.5 -11. I don't really think it is that. If you look at this, the top of this disc, it is incredibly domey. For comparison, I have a Discmania Essence. Yeah, very similar, if not more dome. There's more dome on the Solar Death Ray than there is on the Essence, and very similar. But what you might notice is that there is more plastic below the rim, below the bladed edge on the Solar Death Ray than there is on the Essence. So I'm interested to see if it shares any similarities to an Innova Eagle. Yes and no. There's about the same amount of plastic. There's actually a little bit less plastic. So it's somewhere between an Essence and an Eagle based off of just the mold itself. It does have a very aggressive, so like here's the Eagle. This is your typical just soft little upturn. It's not flat, it's not domey on there, but it has a slight little concave. This is very aggressive. It slopes up so sharply, but the most unique thing about this disc is that it is a fairway driver with ridges. Look at that thing. Ridges. Very interesting. I'm gonna toss it off today. I don't know if I'm gonna throw all of these disc comparison on every hole, but to start off with, we're gonna jump to the short pad of hole 12 and try to spend as little time in the sun as possible. So hopefully the death ray doesn't hit us. Let's go. Short pad for 12, gonna throw the Essence first, then a couple of Eagles, and then we'll see what this thing does. We're gonna throw that one last. I wanna make sure I get a good wind read because yesterday I threw it once and it didn't do at all what I thought it was going to do, and that could have been the wind. So I'm gonna throw the Essence, touch a hyzer. Flip up to flat, ride a little bit to the right, and then fade out. So the two Eagles I'm gonna throw flat to anhyzer versus the hyzer of the Essence. So they might look similar, but they're definitely not. That is my domiest Eagle, and it holds over to the right a little bit longer. A little bit flatter, a little bit newer. Oh, that's so nose up. That's a terrible throw. Let's try to keep this baby hyzer, if not just perfectly flat. Let's see how flat we can get it and see what happens. See, that's what I thought it was going to do yesterday. So I think the Solar Death Ray is somewhere in between the Essence and this Eagle. I'm going to throw all three of these on a forehand here for hole 15. I wouldn't normally reach for like a flippy disc to throw here. I normally would just pump something that's a little straight to stable. So more like this Eagle. But I am interested. It's like it's stable, but also it's not. I don't know what's going on. Now the Solar Death Ray. The sharpness makes it feel slightly uncomfortable, but this might give us a good gauge of like torque resistance. What is happening right now? All right, let's see the essence. This might do the same thing, and in that case, I'm just throwing it soft. No. That's so weird. The essence flipped up to flat. What is going on? I'm so confused. All right, this hole gives us a good chance for some distance rips and also be able to see the entirety of its flight. I'm very confused right now, but we're gonna throw the Barsby Eagle first, and then we're gonna go Essence, and then we're gonna go Death Ray. And then I dropped it. Oh well. Eagle first. So that's the flight you expect out of an Eagle. A little bit of a drift over to the right, then a pretty reliable, decently heavy fade, but it's not dumping out. Go in. That was a nice run if I ever saw one. Now the Solar Death Ray. This theoretically should be somewhere in between the two of those. I just can't figure it out. See, there it flew like an eagle. What is going on with this disc? To be fair, I might have turned it over on the first tee pad, but I don't think I did. But if I did and it's flying so similar to the Eagle, why did it just hold and burn over to the right? So the Essence came chain high and then faded past this bush, and I was having the hardest time finding it because it's literally in there. The Solar Death Ray is really interesting. It has some unique characteristics to it. It's very similar, at least in my mind, it's very similar to a very super domey Champion Eagle. It doesn't want to flip. If it happens to flip though, and it gets to that Anheuser angle, so if you start it here, it doesn't want to get up to there. But if you can get it to here, it's going to hold that for its entire flight, which is really unique. And you get that from domey, neutral to overstable discs, where they don't want to flip up, but if you can get them to turn over, they're gonna be gone, which is weird because it feels like it would flip more. I don't know what's going on with this disc. It's super unique. I'm gonna throw this one first, and then we're gonna throw the other ones. And where's the wind? We have a touch of a tailwind, so I'm gonna trust this flat. Maybe even a touch of Anheuser, and I want to see how far this thing will go if I'm not expecting it to flip up. If I'm expecting it to try to fade on me, what happens if I really rip it? That is not an understable disc. That is not a flip up to flat and ride perfectly dead straight disc. It's about like an Eagle. Weird, because I've tried this entire time for so many years to try to find a replacement for an Eagle, and the weirdest feeling fairway driver from Doomsday discs happens to be the one that flies closest to an Eagle. I don't know what's going on with it. I'm not sure why. Let's throw the two Eagles, and I'm gonna try to throw them the same way, just a touch of turn, and let's see what happens. That pink and orange one's definitely gonna fade more. This one might follow the same. Oh, that's way too high. But I imagine if I got the Solar Death Ray that high, it would fly about the same. This one is not your typical domey Eagle. I try to find all my Eagles super flat because when I start to beat them in, they're gonna hold the truest for the longest. That being said, this is more overstable than those two. So touch a turn out of the hand, more than a touch maybe. Yeah, that one's overstable. That one needs to hit about 400 more trees. And now let's go for what I thought that the Death Ray was gonna fly like. Let's go with the Essence. That was a terrible throw. Anyways, if you enjoy content like this, where I go and try some of the weirdest discs that I've ever put my hands on. Make sure to like the video. If you want to see new stuff, make sure to comment that down below, and make sure to subscribe for all the subscriber only giveaways. Until next time, see you on the course.